Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. A 3-year-old child remains in critical condition after a bouncy castle was swept up by strong winds during a community event in Montreal's LaSalle borough on Sunday, according to a report by Global News. Emergency services were called to Willette Park shortly after 4:30 p.m., following reports that the inflatable structure, with children inside, had been lifted dozens of feet into the air by wind gusts before crashing back down. Urgences Santé reported that 11 people were injured in the chaotic incident, with 6 individuals, including 2 children, transported to the hospital. At the time of the accident, Environment Canada reported wind gusts of up to 50 kilometers per hour in the area. The event was organized by the Madre dei Cristiani Church. City crews have begun clearing debris from the park, and LaSalle Borough officials plan to meet with the organizers to investigate the circumstances of the accident and assess whether additional safety regulations are required for future community events. According to a report highlighted by City News Everywhere, the gender pay gap in British Columbia has decreased, with women earning an average of 14.5% less than men in 2025. This means that for every dollar earned by men, women made 15 cents less. Over the past 3 years, the gap has narrowed by nearly 4 percentage points, showing positive trends in several sectors. The largest improvements were recorded in agriculture, fishing, and hunting, which saw a 12% reduction in the pay gap, followed closely by the administrative and mining sectors. However, the provincial report reveals a much bleaker reality for racialized and newly immigrated women. Women who moved to Canada within the last 5 years earned just 69 cents for every dollar earned by Canadian-born men, reflecting a 4% worsening from previous figures. The provincial government emphasizes that pay transparency is crucial to further narrowing these disparities. Starting this November, BC's Pay Transparency Act will mandate that all employers with over 50 workers publish annual reports, a measure that is already helping to drive transparency across the job market. According to CTV News, the first of 4 new vessels under BC Ferries fleet renewal program has arrived on the BC coast to modernize inter-island service. Named Island XWACAX or LOC, pronounced XWAC Saw Loch Val. The name was gifted by the Snuneymuxw First Nation and means the grassy place in Hilcuminum. Built at Daman shipyards in Romania, the ship is now in local waters and will undergo final sea trials and crew training before entering service this summer. Once operational, it will run between Nanaimo Harbor and Gabriola Island's Descanso Bay, replacing the Island Quigwis. The Island-class vessels are battery-equipped diesel hybrids designed to eventually operate on full electric power once shore-charging infrastructure is implemented. BC Ferries highlights that this hybrid design will significantly reduce carbon emissions and underwater noise, and support growing demand across coastal routes. BC Ferries President and CEO Nicholas Chimenez stated that the expansion is not only about service improvements, but also about strengthening relationships and continuing reconciliation with Indigenous communities. Once all 4 new ships are delivered, the Island-class fleet will expand to 10 vessels. According to City News Everywhere, the Vancouver Canucks have reached an agreement to hire Manny Malhotra as the 23rd head coach in franchise history. Malhotra, 46, replaces Adam Foote, who was fired after a disappointing season where Vancouver finished with a league-worst 25-49-8 record. Malhotra spent the past 2 seasons coaching the Canucks American Hockey League affiliate in Abbotsford, leading them to a Calder Cup championship in the 2024-25 season. He also brings extensive coaching experience, having served as an assistant coach with the Maple Leafs and Canucks. Following a 14-season playing career in the NHL, his hiring represents a series of major offseason changes for the Canucks. Following Patrick Allvin's departure, Ryan Johnson was promoted to general manager. Furthermore, Canucks legends Daniel and Henrik Sedin were named co-presidents of hockey operations, while current president Jim Rutherford announced he will step down to become an advisor after the draft. The Canucks hold the third overall selection in the upcoming NHL draft. According to a report covered by Global News, Saskatchewan has received a D+ grade for its efforts in addressing poverty. Despite the province boasting the lowest unemployment rate in Canada, just over 20% of Saskatchewan's children continue to live in poverty. Food Banks Canada highlighted that the province's social assistance rates are currently insufficient to keep up with building economic pressures and are simply not enough for individuals and families to live on. In addition, a senior researcher from the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives expressed that these disappointing figures are not a surprise. The researcher pointed out that the provincial government's lack of a comprehensive anti-poverty strategy directly contributes to these persistent poverty rates. Observers and advocacy groups are urging the government to take immediate action and implement effective policies to support the province's most vulnerable populations. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.